Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Friday edition of the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. I'm Dan Labbe, and we've got the whole crew here to do a roundtable looking back on the season. So it's Mary Kay Cabot, Ashley Bastock, Doug Lesmerises, Irie Harris, and we threw some questions out to our Football Insider subscribers, and we're going to answer those questions ourselves. I'll, of course, share their answers as well. Let's start by playing the blame game. The person most to blame for the Browns missing the playoffs is blank. So I gave our texters three options, plus I gave them another option, and we did get some write-ins for that as well, which we can get into. But let's just do this. This was actually Doug's suggestion. Mary Kay, who do you think our texters picked from the list of Kevin Stefanski, Joe Woods, and Andrew Berry? Or do you think there were so many people that had another option that that's the one that won? Who do you think they picked from that group as the most to blame for the Browns missing the playoffs?
So I'm sure everyone would say Joe Woods for this answer, but I think that that fans, that texters could probably also have made a case for Deshaun Watson because, you know, he is the one who got suspended for the first 11 games of the season. And you can make a case that if he hadn't been suspended for that long, or if he hadn't done the things that he had done to get suspended, or whatever the case may be, that that this season would have gone differently. But since you did not really present him as as an option, I'm guessing that it's one of the three that you mentioned. And in that scenario, I would think that most people would blame Joe Woods.
Anybody else want to venture a guess here as to who our texters picked? Doug, who do you think? Ashley, go ahead.
Joe Woods.
Okay.
No,
Doug,
I
who do you
also think it was Joe Woods.
Okay, so Ashley says Joe Woods. Doug, these are just guesses as to who our texters picked.
Yeah, I'll say Joe Woods for the texters too.
Irie, do you think they picked Joe Woods?
I'm going to block the clean sweep and say Stefanski.
Well, Irie's our winner. Our texters picked Kevin Stefanski, and by a fairly large margin, 39%. Good. And Joe Woods was at 27%. Now, Mary Kay, Deshaun Watson did come up as a fill-in. Roger Goodell also came up as a fill-in. Jimmy Haslam is in this list. Paul DePodesta, one of the write-ins. Somebody just put in the entire coaching staff. Doug, you said good when I said that. I actually thought it was interesting that Kevin won this. I was kind of with you guys. I thought Joe Woods would kind of be the runaway winner here.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that I really like about surveys like this, because when we do surveys, we do it a lot on Buckeye Talk with our tech subscribers there. When you do it with football insiders like this, these are the most loyal, most dedicated, most informed, most educated Browns fans. And so I think sometimes we end up getting our viewpoint of the fan base from like squeaky wheels on social media. And that's a place where I think there's a lot of squeaking about Joe Woods, justifiably. But sometimes to me, it's felt like the head coach hasn't gotten enough blame. So good. Good for the smart, loyal, dedicated, educated Browns fans for blaming the head coach for the failures of this season. That's an appropriate answer. I'm proud of him.
Irie, why do you think, I mean, you said Kevin Stefanski. Why do you think our texters picked Kevin?
I think the fans chose Kevin because it's deeper than just being the head coach and you being the head coach taking all the blame because you were the supposed leader of your team. I think the proof is in the pudding regarding certain moments and certain choices for plays within the game. It never seemed like he was playing to win. I know we mentioned Deshaun Watson, and as always within the NFL, really just in general, there's always that sense of wanting to adjust. And it never felt like he wanted to fully adjust. It felt like whichever playbook, for the most part, he had given to Jacoby Brissett, he had the pretty much the same in part for Deshaun Watson, maybe just with a few more extra plays that he felt Deshaun could do within his ability. But there are times where I never felt like he was really playing to win the game, as the great Herm Edwards would say. And on top of that, it just, at times seemed like the players did not respect him. You really question, especially throughout the season, if he was really building a winning culture. It's one thing to be 500 or have a losing season, but if you're not gonna, walk the talk, as Dave was saying, really get guys interested and sold on what you're saying, then you have the type of season that we've covered, all throughout 2022. So that's part of the reason, at least not the full, but part of the reason for me saying Stefanski, and I'm sure the fans have some of the same thoughts.
Ashley, Mary Kay brought up a name that